I'm ready to do the damn thing. Everybody, I'm ready to do it. I'm really ready to do it. Feeling good today. We're going to be talking about, in today's episode, the difference in new construction and custom homes. Because there are many, many people out there that think they want a custom home. And we even see this very often in our little email inbox, which is how people get in touch with us about real estate stuff. The people are like, I want to build a home, right? Okay, well, to build a home, you're talking about doing custom homes versus new construction, which is actually what you want. You just don't know that you want it yet. And I might have to convince you on why you want it, but that's what we're going to be talking about today. So let's get into a little bit. Let's start with new construction, then we'll jump over to customs. Right, Finn? So on new construction, typically these are large builders. These are not mom and pop shops. These are like big companies. In Salt Lake, for example, we don't have that many new construction builders that really do a lot. It's a relatively small list, right? Because they do big projects, big developments, things like that. So what you're getting when you do new construction is you're saying, okay, here's a development, right? Whatever, yada, 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 development. It's a shitty name for a development. Don't call your development yada, yada, yada development. You get the idea. So what you do as the consumer, you go check out the development, and typically you're picking a lot. You're saying, okay, there's these half a dozen lots available, whatever. There's going to be 30 total homes, 24 are taken, there's 6 lots left. So you start by picking which lot you want, which is very different than going out to find a lot that you're going to build a custom home on. So you just pick a lot, you're like, that one right there, I want number 43. And then you pick a floor plan, okay? Within that floor plan, it's like, look, this is the house. Like, the house is what it is, and it's going to look like the house. It's going to look like this model home. Not necessarily the model. The model might be a different floor plan, but I think you get what I mean. But it's like, hey, look, the Saratoga model floor plan, like, look, that is the house. So you're not picking the design of the house. What you're picking is the finishes. Okay, you, in a new construction process, you get to go in. It's kind of fun, actually. Usually it's about a 3-hour meeting or so, and you meet with the builder's designer, and you pick out all the shit that you want. I don't mean like how many bedrooms, how many square foot. I mean, well, what color do you want the tile to be? What do you want the carpet to be? And the paint colors, and the knobs, and this is what style cabinets I like, that kind of stuff. Frankly, the cabinets might not even be your pick, but you get what I mean. Like, you're picking out finishes versus let's design a home, and I want a loft with a theater room, and it's like, that's not what new construction is. You pick a lot, you pick a floor plan, and that lot may only take specific floor plans, then you pick your finishes. I like new construction quite a bit. Part of the reason is, one, it requires standard financing, nothing unique. Okay, so you put that house under contract. Normally, to put it under contract, you need a pre-approval. Well, you definitely will need a pre-approval to put the house under contract. And then you just wait, right? And they go throughout your build process, and you might have a couple walkthroughs that you do at different stages of it. Like, before they put up the drywall, typically you'll go do it to make sure all the electrical's in the right spot, because once there's drywall up, we're not ripping out drywall because it turns out we got the light switch in the wrong place. We do that walkthrough prior to that. That way we make sure everything is done properly. I like new construction a lot because, like I said, since it's typically larger builders, they're pretty good about staying on time and staying on track with things. Part of that is because they have more purchasing power, and because they are bigger developers, they have you kind of get bumped to the front of the line. Doesn't that make sense, right? If you're a business that sells a thing and this guy buys your thing all the time, aren't you going to kind of cater to him? So the big builders get pretty good treatment and are able to keep their timelines on track, which may or may not be important to you based on your situation, but it might be critical to you, as we're seeing with some other clients right now. Custom homes is a totally different animal, and I mean totally different animal, everyone. So here's how that process works. One, you got to find the land, okay? You're not building something in a development And if you are, it's going to be a development that's not new construction. It's a development that a custom builder can build in. We won't really go down that rabbit hole right now, but first you got to find the land, right? And that sounds simple. Go find a plot of land. Go find your quarter acre, half acre, whatever it is that you want. Cool. Well, you got to find the land. Next thing you got to do is you got to go, is the land really capable of taking a house? Is it capable of taking a house like I want? Because different builders will have done different things. Not all builders will have been through all the geological stuff and like tested the soil and whatever has to happen in your area to know, like, is this lot stable? Is it good to go in order to build a house? So you may or may not have to do some of that stuff. So that's the first thing, right? Is really looking at the land itself. In order to really put the land under contract, I'm going to make an assumption that we're going to be building a house relatively short term. This is not a lot that you're going to buy and sit on for the next 5 years and then build as like your retirement home. I'm going to assume you're buying this lot and you're going to build a home on it. So you're going to need a construction loan in order to, which is totally different type of financing. In order to get the construction loan, look, you've got to find the lot. Then we got to make sure the lot's good to go. We've got to design the home, right? So you might likely going to have to get with an architect or a custom home builder that has floor plans that you already really like, right? So, but you're going to have to essentially design the home, get the home priced out, right? So you're going to have to find the contractor. They're going to have to bid it out, because ultimately what you're doing in taking out that construction loan is like, look, how much is the cost of the house? We're not just going to give you an infinite amount of money until we find out what the house is going to cost. Like, no, we have to know what the house is going to cost. So we need to know both the price of the land and the home that's going to go on it, which means going through all the land shit, going through designing the home, pricing out the home, at which point you can officially close or, close on your lot, right? Now the lot is kind of sort of yours. It's really the bank's, but you get what I mean. And now we can start construction. You go through this process. Custom home builds are way more difficult because there's going to be a lot more stuff that you got to chime in on. Like, sure, you get to pick the color of your tile and all that kind of shit, but it's like, you're really like designing a home now. And that sounds fun. And in my experience with, I've never personally been through the process of a custom build because it's, not the house that I live in, but in talking to almost everyone who's been through that, they're like, yeah, it's a pain in the ass. And it becomes a lot more expensive than you thought it was going to be when you started it. And it takes a lot longer than you thought it was going to take at the start of it. Because the thing is with custom builders, they are not the big mega builder. Typically, they're smaller boutique style companies. They're doing customs, right? Like, wouldn't you agree that, this is a totally different analogy, but hey, look, Glock is a lot bigger and has a lot more influence than Agency Arms, which is a custom Glock shop, right? For our gun people that may watch this channel. You go, well, yeah, Glock's got a lot more influence on the market than Agency does. It's like, yeah, because they're doing big production, big volume. Finn, stop, please, for the love of fucking God. So Glock's got a lot more influence because they produce a lot more. Agency has a lot less because they just do little custom batches, right? So that's the thing with custom builders. Like, yeah, it's a lot less likely to stay on track. It's a lot less likely for the price to stay set because it's subject to lumber changes and all that kind of shit, right? So you're just a lot more vulnerable in that process. Once the house is done, you go through the entire construction process, then you actually get a fixed rate 30-year loan, right? So it goes from not being in the construction loan anymore to basically they wrap up the land and the home all into one nice, pretty package called a 30-year mortgage. It's complicated, guys. It is way more simple to do new construction than it is custom build. And we have so many people that they love the idea of, I'm going to pick this perfect piece of land, I'm going to put this perfect house on it. And it's like, yes, but here's my opinion. That's a cool plan for people who either have a lot of money where they're not concerned about the price of any of this, or at a stage of life where you're building that like forever home, not like you're 30 and you're doing your first home and this is what you're going to do. It's like, look, it's too big of an undertaking. Stop. Go simple. Get any house for your first house. I don't really care as long as it's structurally relatively sound. But it's like, look, if you're 55, right, and in 5 years you're going to be pressing pause and kind of hitting the retirement, cool. Yeah, maybe do that forever home. Maybe pick all your shit, because you're probably going to die in that house, right? So let's make sure that you like it. You get where I'm going? So for most of you watching this, you're not in that phase of life. Fuck you money, or you're at the end of your, I want to say the end of your life, but kind of moving towards your retirement phase of life. You're in your like normal working years. You're like 30 to 40 years old, statistically, most of the people that watch anything that I put out. So it's like, look, new construction is your friend. New construction is your answer. Keep your life simple. Remove these headaches. Let the builder deal with all that stuff. Don't worry about construction loans. You're trying too hard. You gotta try a little bit less sometimes. New construction is the answer for 99%. So I hope that helps, everyone. Let's talk briefly about bourbon, then we'll wrap this damn thing up. I should probably give the plug, too. If you need real estate help, let us know. My business, the 1911 Syndicate. This is like a channel just dedicated to the real estate side of the business, but the business as a whole, we work with a lot of vets and military and all kinds of cool stuff. A couple bourbon recommendations this week. These are not warnings, these are recommendations. So, Noble Oak. So it has some sherry cask influences, and I was excited about this. I thought it was going to be good, and I was correct, and which was good because I'd been running a little bit of a cold streak for a minute, where it was just like I was just not connecting with anything that I'd been trying. This was really good, and that was only, Noble Oak was like maybe a $35 bottle, something like that. So very reasonably priced, right in that kind of sweet spot that a lot of us love to, you know, don't you love a good, like a $35 bottle that's good? I do. I love it because you're just like, shit, why am I buying the $90 bottle that's like okay if I can buy a $35 bottle that's like really good? So this was a winner. I would recommend it. Little mild, which I kind of like. Obviously, it's got the sherry influence there. So if that's your thing, gets the endorsement from me. Hope you guys are doing well. I will deal with this shit-faced dog right now. We'll see you soon. I will not tolerate a dog licking his own asshole. Not going to happen. Not my watch.